that it would be fair to say that there were two key purposes. The first is that we wanted to build a pipeline of work into this important second quarter. It's really a telling quarter for us as to whether or not we meet plan for the year. And it's in all of our interests that we meet plan. More so than that, we wanted a long-term focus. We wanted to make sure that we were actually building that bench strength of players to take client service out into the public domain.
Look, I think it's clearly number 7, which is to put yourself in the shoes of the client. I think if you can get that right, I think a lot of the other rules, it's just encapsulated in that, because if you can put yourself...
I like the race because I have a lot of new clients, and it really encouraged me to talk to my clients quite frequently, and I've talked to a lot of them.
I'm always frequently talking to my clients.
And that is all.
Everyone came up with number 8, which is communicating clearly and accurately on a timely basis. So the key points that we get out of that is that we look to communicate with our clients face to face and on a regular basis.
If the Hamilton team were to be a car, what sort of car would you be?
Oh, it's a dirty old Holden, eh? Like, you have to admit, at the moment we're using that dog wagon off Dumb and Dumber. You know the Dumb and Dumber movie, and they cruise around in that dog grooming wagon with the dog?
Yeah.
Yes.
Rules of the game.
Play to win. Yep, that'll do.
Responsiveness and making sure we accelerate and respond within 24 hours. We find that business relationships are what fuels our team's success, and ensure we overtake the competition and get to the finish line first. Bro.
And I think what really resonates with me is the fact that client meetings are important, because it needs to be more personal contact, less reliance on email.
And explain.
Ultimately happy because we give them a huge discount.
The theme is horror, right? This is going to be shown at the...
In 2 sentences, please explain which of the client service promise rules of the game resonates the most with your team.
Oh, that's quite easy. Don't trust Jamie and Bella. Lies, and damn lies. And the other ones.
Explain what the client service promise rules the game resonates most with your team. That's too hard to answer.
Our team's a corporate team, so we're all about relationships. And one of the most important rules that we see is being responsive to our clients. So our rule is responding within 24 hours.
One thing we take seriously in Team Delta is risk and adherence to risk. Here is an example of what happens to a team member when he does not adhere to our risk policies.
What is client service promise number 7?
We adhere to risk policy and procedure.
Then why did you start this job when no engagement letter was prepared?
Oh, I thought it was done.
Liar, you did not.
But the truth is...
You can't handle the truth!
The other one's probably rules are malleable. You're better off to put points up and defend them rather than not claim them at all.
What have you learned?
From what?
What, Monty Davis?
To respond to client queries within a very short time frame. Like, we used to write emails. But
Serious question for you guys, all about client service. If I was a client now and I asked you guys for a group hug, what would you do?
We'll do the happy dance first,
okay,
and then we'll like you.
Let's do it. I will spoil you.
Oppa Gangnam Style.
Group hug. Oh yeah.
Where?
I don't do dress up, right? One thing you'll know, people will know, have been around for a while, that I don't do dress up terribly well, so I don't know.
Okay, so Veronica, we need to talk about a success story that we've had in client service. Any ideas?
Ray?
Weekly Text highlights.
To that client is that we keep thinking about them and adding value. It's a new client that we have just engaged with them. What happened is that we actually did
like a mini strategic tax review and actually picked up some GST opportunities as well as GST risk and income tax risk. Had a meeting with the client and raised those opportunities, and they thought that was really valuable, so they would like us to now be their tax advisor.
One funny one was when we went out to Navman to try and sell Fathom.
Yeah.
And they actually told us they were firing us and moving to PwC. So potentially not a successful story, but he was pretty keen on Fathom anyway.
We had a Caribbean king who was looking to come back to New Zealand. So our sales were able to deploy the services of Team Oracle to successfully negotiate our client through the minds and booby traps of coming back to New Zealand. And remember, when Chuck Norris sends in his taxes, he sends blank forms and includes only a picture of himself, crouched and ready to attack. Chuck Norris has not had to pay taxes, ever.
I, at the tax conference, had to look after a client's bag. Because they were in no fit state to look after their own bag. But because I'm willing to go the extra mile, I kept my eyes on that bag.
Did you keep an eye on your own?
What it's doing is that it's encouraging the team to say to the partners in particular and managers, hang on a minute, we would like to be involved, we want to have a conversation with the client, even if we're just there to listen and to be involved, because that is a great way for everyone to develop in their own.
I think it's taught our team a bit of competitiveness, which is always good.
Well, Declan already had a little bit of competitiveness.
Yeah.
Probably calling clients rather than emailing them is a good thing. So
same with tax return queries, rather than just defaulting to the huge email that we send out, giving clients a call first.
And don't trust Jamie Abella.
Client service. Flav, what does it mean to you?
It's servicing clients.
Enterprise, definitely.
Reasons?
Jamie Abella. I'm confident that Ian Bradley and Jamie Abella incident with Tourism Holdings or whatever, where they got like 150 points, they literally just sent them every tax news highlight for the last year to the client.
So who do you think's cheated the most in the 90-day race?
Well, Enterprise, of course.
Why's that?
Jamie!
So what team do you align yourself with?
Well, I think it's what's the team called? Don't click that. No, gosh, I've got a black on my mind. Hang on. Oracle, thank you. I was thinking Olympus, but I knew that wasn't right.
Which team cheated? That's definitely Team McRae. She changed the rule almost on a daily basis. So Oracle, I would see them as the number one cheat.
I got to watch those guys in Nova. I think they're always they're always pretty cunning. I mean, led by that Bill Hale guy. I mean, they were the Artful Dodgers from memory in a previous life. So I'm sure that they'd be the ones I'd be keeping the closest eye on.
So, looking at the last week's results, what do you think about this?
Well, Olympus is coming last, and there's been a little bit of cheating going on, namely Nova, and perhaps a bit of Morpheus as well. So, we seem to be the only level 14 team that isn't involved in cheating.
And as our team as well, and look, there's probably been some gamesmanship along the way, but we like to think there hasn't been any cheating that's gone into it. We think everyone's given their best.
Yeah. Have to be Jamie Bella.
The most? Oh, that would be Nova, because they cheated everything.
Why would that be?
Well, it's just sort of ingrained in their culture, I think.
All right.
Yep.
Enterprise, definitely. Jamie Abella.
Oh, like, did someone think we cheated?
No, I just want.
The rumour on the street is that you're parting ways with Deloitte.
Yes.
Yeah, because of the 90-day race? It's just too stressful on you?
On top of my normal work, it was just too much for me to look after. So, yep. And I have also been claiming mileage for all the calls I have with the clients to tell them that I'm leaving. So, I've got a fair few 10-kilometre points for those activities.
I think it's been really successful at building momentum. Seeing that competitive nature of so many teams, I certainly heard most of them say we're going to win this race, but there's definitely been ones that have just consistently worked their butt off to make sure they're in that top rank of players, and they're not always the ones you would think were obvious to win.
There's been some really good, it's been a relatively short, sharp boost of activity, and which is what we wanted. And I think that, and obviously it wasn't just running in Auckland, Hamilton, it was running across the country. So I've sort of been keeping in touch with, people outside of Auckland as well. And I think I was talking to Steve Thompson, who's one of our very good partners in Dunedin, and he said, and I agree, and I think I've also seen this echoed by Joe, is that it's great, and hopefully it's got some people really quite excited about doing some stuff maybe different to what they've been doing, generally in their lives and their working lives. But what we really want to happen is for that momentum to carry on, and for people to start thinking about this more as part of what they do, and so it just becomes part of their day job. It's a journey, not a destination, as Thomas would say.
Yeah, I agree. Those Morpheus Muppets, what have they got, like John Bradley, that he goes out to Ma Higgins Cookies, who it's like his brother-in-law or his brother that owns it. You can't just go to 100 meetings with your brother-in-law and then claim all that mileage. That's just not on. I mean, I could have 100 meetings with my brother as well and claim like 1,000 kilometres. That's not really marketing. Come on, Team Morpheus.
Beat the war. You can talk the guy, go banging on his door. You can throw your hands up, you can beat the clock. You can move a mountain, you can break rocks. You can beat